to extend a special word of welcome to our guest speaker this evening, Mr. Vusi Ndima. He's the Chief Director of Heritage, Department of Arts and Culture, National Government. To Mr. Cedric Fezula, he's Senior Management from the Office of the MEC. Unfortunately, the MEC for Arts and Culture, Ms. Susan Numzana, apologized at the last minute. She's not feeling well. I'd like to welcome as well the Acting Senior Manager, Arts and Culture, Free State Provincial Government, Mr. Mario Sefu, and then also the Director of the National Museum, Mr. Rick Nuttall, the Deputy Director, Mr. Adrian Clemens, from the Department of Arts and Culture National Department, Renette Stander, Assistant Director, Heritage Institutions, and Tembi Malau, Deputy Director, Heritage Institutions, Department of Arts and Culture. It's a pleasure for me to welcome members of the public, our artists from Dubanchu and Mbana, and our regular supporters. I trust that you'll all enjoy the evening with us. I'd like to ask the Director of the National Museum, Mr. Nuttall, to introduce our guest speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sharon. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed an honor and privilege for me to introduce our guest speaker at this prestigious event this evening, Mr. Vusi Ndima, Chief Director for Heritage in the National Department of Arts and Culture. It is always a pleasure to welcome colleagues from our very own National Department to their heritage institutions, and this occasion is very special in this regard as well. Mr. Ndima, it is indeed an honor to welcome you to address us at Oliewenhuis this evening. Thank you.
It's a privilege and honor for me to be invited to this august and prestigious occasion of the launch of this exhibition tonight. Someone said that art is a visual form of communication and that one should look at the artwork before reading about it. I believe that human beings create art not only for aesthetic reasons and purposes, but to try to make sense of themselves and the world around them. As art is unique to us human beings, we create in order to communicate not only our beliefs, but also to express our likes and dislikes, our anxieties, fears, and sometimes anger, our visions and hope, our idiosyncrasies and predilections. So this major donation of over 260 works of art includes political, resistance, and religious themes, and contains works done by artists such as Norman Catherine, Der Meerkotte, Lucas Sitole, and Walter Battis. These artists invariably expressed the socio-economic and political conditions of the time. This they did with the hope that their voices were going to be heard so that there would be a dawn of a new day. A day in which South Africa will be liberated from any form of racial, ethnic, creedal, and gender discriminations. Thanks to the visuals and voices that flashed and echoed intermittently and consistently until South Africa achieved a new democratic political dispensation. Getting back to the specific work that has brought us together today, it is indeed true that from the 1960s, Ferdinand Henge and his mother played a significant role in acquiring, displaying, and promoting art in Johannesburg through various innovative initiatives. When he established Henge Foundation Incorporated in the 1970s, Ferdinand Henge showed and displayed the vision and foresight to collect and preserve art from artists that would not have been recognized in this country otherwise then. Today, these artists are household names in the art world, and their works show the amazing creative talent that South Africa has ever produced. Ferdinand Henge decided to leave South Africa in 1993 as a result of personal reasons. The greater part of the collection, called the PELMAMA, Permanent Art Collection, was either placed on long-term loan or donated to numerous museums throughout South Africa. The balance of the collection was, however, moved to Switzerland to where Mr. Hengi has immigrated. Fortunately, due to various reasons such as Oliewenhuis Art Museum's national status and Hengi family's historical connections to the Free State, Mr. Hengi decided to donate this collection to Oliewenhuis. When the Department of Arts and Culture was, when the Department of Arts and Culture was informed of this donation, there was a general euphoria and excitement. We were excited not only about the prospect of the donation, but also by the prospect of exhibiting the donated artifacts so that the matter receives the publicity it deserves. That's why we are here today. We are here today to pay tribute to the Hengi family for the wonderful work they did in preserving and protecting our heritage. We are also here today to pass our sincerest gratitude to the Oliewenhuis Art Museum for championing a good national cause by being good ambassadors in the return of our heritage. So often do we hear about South African artworks being sold on auctions overseas, and so often do these artworks receive exorbitant prices. Although this shows that there is a great international market for South African art, these artworks seldom find their way back to South Africa. This places a challenge on the South African art galleries and public collections as it creates difficult competition. This places a challenge on South African art galleries and public collections as it creates difficult competition from both private and corporate collectors. This is why the Department of Arts and Culture decided to support this donation and subsequent exhibition by all possible means. The repatriation of cultural projects is still a much disputed, topical, and explosive topic worldwide. Whilst proponents of repatriation see the return of their cultural property as part of the restoration and reclamation of their national identities, its opponents argue that ownership regained by one country is heritage lost by another. In this debate, we can only, and logically so, join the proponents of repatriation. Of course, we are a new democratic state that is emerging from the ravages of imperialism and colonialism, the socio-political phenomena that saw some of our invaluable heritage leaving the shores of our country. There are also international cases that have populated the agenda of the UNESCO Intergovernmental Committee that deals with matters of repatriation. I think here specifically of the issues such as the Elgin Marbles dispute or the return of the obelisk of Axum to Ethiopia. Just to give you a little bit of background, the Elgin Marbles are pieces of the frieze of the ancient Parthenon on the Acropolis in Athens. During the war with the Turks in 1687, the Parthenon was partially blown apart. Some pieces were removed in the early 19th century and installed in the British Museum in London. Greece's campaign for their return has unleashed a huge international debate about the issue, which remains unresolved. So you can see, how emotional the issue of repatriation is, how emotional is the issue of the loss of cultural property is. Then another story is that of the obelisk of Axum, which is a 1,700-year-old